G'day everyone, I happen to be up north today around Warwick Station and I blundered into this principal shared path closure that I didn't know about, and I got some more questions for Main Roads about how they're handling these contracts. So this is the information from the Main Roads travel site. You can see from the 1st of May to the 14th that the PSP between Warwick Road and Hawker Avenue is going to be closed, and they're putting up some acrylic panel installation on the noise walls. Okay, that's all good. In fact, I passed a couple of artists painting the noise walls today. They're looking good. So yeah, I mean, I think this is a good thing to do. The closure is fine. The detour isn't that bad. However, there are some issues with the way it's being implemented. Now, here's the map from the travel website, and you can see, in theory, that there's supposed to be a section of pathway closed between the Warwick Station car park and Warwick Road, and there's just this very simple little detour shown in green to go around it, just go out in the suburb a bit. However, there are absolutely no detour signs anywhere around this closure. There's a map at the southern end, and it's the same map that I just showed you, and there's a good core flute there with the map on it and some information that's been cable tied to the fence. That's all good. But there's no map at the northern end. I would have thought you'd have exactly the same core flute at both ends with the same information on it, but there's nothing. And the southern closure, it doesn't match what's on the map. I'm going to say it's poorly located, and maybe this has been done to save on fencing costs. I don't know if that's something that Main Roads has agreed to, or whether the contractors just decided to do it off their own bat and no one's checking on it. But I guess that's up to Main Roads to go and look into. So here's just a snippet from the video showing the southern end. There's the core flute on the fence. There you can. I should have taken a photo of it, but my camera battery had gone flat. Yeah, good information on that sign, and the map is quite clear. No issues with the map at that end. We go to the northern end though, and there's absolutely nothing. It's just a fence. There's nothing to tell you to turn left. There's no map to show you the route you're supposed to take. It's just a fence. That's not really good. And this is, I guess, showing where the missing fencing is. So the red line shows where the path is supposed to be closed. The yellow arrow shows where the path is actually closed. That's where the fence is closing off the path going to the north. And obviously the fencing is missing between the yellow arrow and the blue arrow. And I guess the question is, well, why is that? Why does the map not match the reality on the ground? Yeah, so a bunch of questions. Why does the map not match the closure? Now, was a traffic management plan prepared and approved for this closure? And I'm assuming if there was some kind of traffic management plan, it would show, where the fencing or the barricades were supposed to be, what signage was supposed to be put out, where the signage was supposed to be put out, because where is the detour signage? I mean, it doesn't need a great deal of detour signage. A maximum of 5 or 6 signs in each direction would be more than sufficient. You don't need traffic controllers on site. So, you just need someone to go and put some signs out to say, turn left here, turn right there, and you'd be all good. But it's all missing. There's just nothing. Why is there only one map? There should be a map at both ends. I mean, it's closed at both ends, obviously, so there should be a map at both ends showing where you're supposed to go. Now, at the southern end, because of where they've put the fencing and put the closure, you actually ride up the principal shared path some distance, and then you come to this fence, and it's like, oh, I've got to turn right here to get out on the road, but I've got to cross the verge, and the verge is all wood chips, and there's a fairly steep curb. So, fine, if that's what you actually want to do, that's all good. But why is there no temporary ramp there to get you from the path across the verge and the curb onto the road and vice versa? You think you'd do that. So yeah, fine, saving on the fencing, all that kind of stuff, but put in a temporary ramp to transition people across, because there's going to be people that aren't physically capable necessarily of getting from the path across the verge and a steep curb. I'm thinking of pensioners and gophers. I'm thinking of hand cyclists. I'm thinking of people on cargo bikes. There might be people with kids in trailers and things like that. I mean, what do you expect them to do? And if the answer is, oh, well, they just need to do a U-turn and go back down the principal shared path to the car park and then get on the road there. It's like, well, yeah, that's great customer service, isn't it? If that's, if that's your attitude, why not have some signage down at where the principal shared path ends at the car park saying, this is blocked off, get out on the road here, this is where the detour is going, and have a map there explaining where you're supposed to go. That would make a hell of a lot more sense than just blocking the path off and saying, stuff you, we don't really care about what you do from here. Now, who from Main Roads is actually checking on this work site? Because if this work site that I'm showing you doesn't match what's in the contract, well, who's going out there and checking that the contractor's actually doing what they're supposed to be doing? Have they decided, oh, we can save a ton of money by not putting up, fencing where we've said we're going to put it up? We can save some money by not putting up detour signs. We're just not going to bother. We can save some money by just doing one core flute rather than two, and yeah, we put in the tender would provide all of that, but, we can pocket a bunch of cash if we just don't do it. And you know what? Main Roads are never going to check. We'll just send in the invoice and they'll pay it and nobody's going to be the wiser. Is that what's happening? If so, yeah, that's a bit of a worry. But look, if what we're seeing is exactly what Main Roads tended for, like a bare bones, cheap, quick and dirty solution, well, that's not really that good either, is it? So, yeah, what is it, guys? What's going on? Okay, what detour signage would I think should I? Well, what would I have put in a traffic management plan? I think at a minimum 5 signs. You could probably get away with 3 going north. It doesn't need to be a huge amount. Going south, a detour ahead sign on the northern side of Warwick Road would be quite useful. So as you're approaching the traffic lights, when you get across to the other side of the traffic lights, you're going to be detoured to the left. You definitely need a sign telling you to turn right into Malak Place, because there's just this little narrow kind of opening in the fence with a path with bollards and stuff in it. And, if you don't know where you're going, people would balk at that and say, are you really sending me down here? And the answer is yes, we really are sending you down there. So that needs to be made quite clear. Right, let's go and have a look at the video. Well, here we are heading south towards, this is Warwick Road, and I would have put a detour ahead sign down there. Now you can see here there's absolutely no detour signage or maps near the fence. You can see the machinery that they're using on the other side of the fence there. This is what I was talking about, this narrow little chute that you have to go down. You really need a little bit of signage along here to tell you where to go. And you can see the absolute lack of any fencing along here, and the path is definitely not closed as per the map. So this is where they've got the fencing at the moment. And I just jumped across the curb because, hey, I can do that. But like I said, there's probably a lot of people that wouldn't be able to do what I did. They'd have to dismount. Well, in that case, there should be dismount signage telling people to do it, or something across all those wood chips, etc., to let people transition across. And definitely some signage down the bottom here if you're going to have this blocked off, telling people, path is closed, get out on the road, off you go. So anyway, a bunch of questions there for Main Roads. There is another closure coming up for more works. Hopefully when that one's done, some of the lessons learned from what I've just showed you will be applied to that one. Right, that's it for today.